Hello everyone. Good morning to all. I think everyone is ready to listen to my class right now. In the last class, we have completed the overview of Python, and I have already said that what we will discuss in the next session. Here we are discussing about the introduction of the Python. So, without wasting any time, let us move forward. So, what is Python? I think many of the people have heard about the Python and also you might have familiar with the Python programming language. So those who are beginners to this course, you can go through this video and we will know what is Python and how we will be use this Python nowadays. So in this session, I will completely explain the fundamentals of the Python. So what is Python? Python is a popular programming language and it is also an example of high level language. It means it is a programming language like C, C++, PHP, and Java. How compared to C, C++, Java, this is also one programming language. Why it is programming language means we are using some programs to execute the code. So that's why it is called programming language. Always programming languages uses the code to execute the programs. So while executing the programs, we get the output through the program. That's why it is a programming language. And also, you might have heard about C++, PHP, and Java in your recent classes. And also, you might have heard about the C language also. C language is also a programming language. Next one. It is a multi-purpose programming language. So why it is multi-purpose programming language means it is useful in both web development, web GUI means graphical user interface and scripting. It means we are using this Python programming language in both web graphical user interface and scripting. That's why we are calling it as multi-purpose programming language. Next, object-oriented programming language. So what object-oriented means? It always depends on objects. So we will create an object while using some OOPS concepts in Python. With the help of the object only, we will be calling the function. That's why it is object oriented. While coming to C, it is functionally oriented, but in terms of in coming to Python, it is object oriented because it depends on an object. And also we always try to create an object for different variables. Next, interpreted. What is interpreted means before going to explain this, I will explain what is compile. In C programming, you might have heard about the compile. Why C programming is compiled means it will not read line by line. After completion of all the programs only, uh, it will read. It means after completion of all the program, after executing it, it will show an error whether it contains an error or not. So after writing all the programs only, it will show an error. That's why it is compiled. So what is interpreted means here interpreted means it will check line by line. So while writing or while executing line by line, it will show an error if you wrongly interpreted. It means if you write anything wrong over there, at that time only it will show an error. So unlike C programming language, it will not show an error after completion of complete program. Before completion of program only line by line. It means it will check line by line. After checking each line only, it will go to the next line. It means if it is containing any error in the first line, it will not print the second line. That's why it is called interpreted language. So interpreted means it will check line by line. And also we can call it Python as both compile and interpreted language. So it is very, very important. In most of the interviews, they will ask this question only. What's the difference between C and C? Python means C is compile language. Python is both compile and interpreted language. Because why it is also compile means it will check line by line, and also after checking all the lines, it will take all the input and it will print all the lines. That's why it is both interpreted language. Next, strongly typed and dynamically typed. It is strongly typed and dynamically typed language because we are typing it dynamically, not and also it focus on readability and productivity. And also this programming language always focus on readability and productivity. Next one. And also history of Python. So Python, we can see the history of the Python. Python was developed by Guido van Rossum in the late 80s and early 90s at the National Research Institute of for Mathematics and Computer Science in Netherlands. So who is the developer of the Python means Guido van Rossum. He is the developer and and which he was developed this Python. When he was developed in late 80s and early 90s. And where did he develop this programming language? At National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science in Netherlands. This institute is mainly present in Netherlands. It means he has found the programming language in Netherlands in this institute. Next one. Python is derived from many other languages. It means this Python programming has derived from many other languages. Why? Because means using many other languages, we has invented and we have come across into this Python programming. So that's why it was derived from many other languages like ABC, Modular 3, C, C++, Algol 68, Smalltalk, and Unix Shell and other scripting languages. From these languages only Python has derived because whatever the Python containing, those type of concepts will be available in Python. After this programming language only, this Python has arrived. Before this programming language, Python was not arrived. After C, C++, Java, C, C++, and other programming languages only, it has arrived. Next one. Python is copyrighted. So it is copyrighted programming. Like Perl, Python source code is now available under the GNU, General Public License. It means like Perl is also a programming language. Like Perl programming language, the source code of the Python is also available under general public license. It means under general public license, the source code of the Python is available for all the people who are looking to download it. Next, Python is now maintained by a core development team at the institute. So we will maintain this Python core development team. There is a core development team at the institute. So this core development team will maintain this Python. Although Guido Anderson still holds a vital role in directing its progress. Despite there is a maintenance of core development, Guido Anderson also holds a vital role. It means he is also having an important role by directing its progress. It means he will show the direction how to progress this language, programming language, how to move forward this programming language. Like that, he will guide it. Next one. So Python 1.0 was released in November 1994. So in November 1994, Python 1.0 was released. Next one. In 2000, Python 2 was released. So when was Python 2 released? It was in 2000, Python 2 was released. After the Python 1.0 version, Python 2.0 version was released in 2000. Next one. Python 2.7.11 is the latest edition of Python 2. So for Python 2 version, what is the latest edition? 2.7.11 is the latest edition. Next one. Meanwhile, Python 3.0 was released in 2008. And at the same time, in 2008 also, Python 3.0 was released. So Python 3 is not backward compatible with Python 2. So The newly released Python 3 it is not backward compatible with the Python 2 programming language. So there are some differences between Python 3 and Python 2. So difficulties in Python 2 overcome by the Python 3. It means some of the new packages first arrived in Python 3 compared to Python 2. The emphasis in Python 3 had been on the removal of duplicate programming constructs and modules so that there should be one and preferable only one obvious way to do it. It means whatever the duplicate constructs and duplicate modules that were present in the Python 2, those were removed by this Python 3. So that why they were removed? So in order to there should be one and only preferable obvious to do it. So one is the latest version of Python 3. So what is the latest version of Python 3? 3.5.1 is the latest version. Now I think Python at present 3.1.0, 3.1, 3.11 or 3.9 is the latest version that we are using in present days. And also we can go those type of latest versions in Google. So in what way the Python is used? So it is used for web development. So in what way the Python is useful for web development in means server side. It means for backend side. So generally web development is used for front end. It means it is uh, used for front end development, and this Python is used in the web development in order to cover the server side. It means backend. So by combining both web development and Python, we can create the website. Next one, software development. So most of the people are using this Python now for software development. So if you want to develop the software, you need to go through the Python programming language. Other programming languages are also available, but most of the people prefer Python programming language only. Next one, mathematics. So Python is used in mathematics also. Some of the mathematical functions are there. Those type of things will be used in this Python programming language. System scripting. For system scripting also this Python programming is used. Next one. Next we can see the features of Python. What are the features of Python that it includes? So first one, easy to learn. So why Python is easy to learn means while compared to other programming languages, it is very easy because it contains very less number of lines. So we need to implement any hash include std would others like that libraries. We no need to define over here. That's why it is easy to learn. And also it is object oriented language. So unlike C programming language, we no need to mention any commas or semicolons or any parentheses like that. That's why it is easy to learn. So Python has a few keywords. Why it is easy to learn? It has few keywords and also simple structure. So Python structure is simple and also its syntax is very easy. That's why it is very easy to learn and also clearly defined syntax. So Python has very clearly defined syntax. Unlike C programming has very confusing and very hardful syntax. So compared to C language, it is very easy. This allows a student to pick up the language quickly. So by having these keywords, simple structure and clearly defined structure, a student can pick up the programming language quickly. It means he can able to learn the programming language quickly and he can able to do programs in Python very easily and also he can able to build many things by using this Python. Next one, easy to read. So Python is very easy to read. Why means it is very clearly defined and visible to the eyes. Next one, easy to maintain. Unlike C programming, it is very easy to maintain. Why? Because means Python is independent of the platform. Python is platform independent, but whereas C language is platform dependent. It means C language varies from platform to platform. It means it will work on some platforms and it will not work on some other platforms. But 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 in coming to Python, it is platform independent. So whatever the platform you take, whatever the compilers you take, definitely the code of this Python will work here. That's why it is very easy to read and also easy to maintain. A broad standard library. Why it is so? It contains very huge amount of libraries, and also it is very portable and cross platform compatible on Unix, Windows, and Macintosh. Next one, interactive mode. So Python supports this interactive mode also. It means why it is supporting interactive means in order to test and debug the code. So if you want to test and debug the code, you have to interact with this. So this Python programming has specialty, and also it is interacting with us by testing and debugging the code. So after completion of the code, before running the program, you can able to debug. It means in order to find out the error or in order to check the program before executing the code, you can able to debug and you can able to test the program. But in compared to but in C language, you cannot test and you cannot debug. It doesn't have that debug and test option. After writing the program, you need to run entire program only. After writing and implementing the entire program only, you can know whether the program contains any error or not. Like that. That's why Python is an interactive. Python has the future of interactive mode. Next one, portable. So it is a portable because Python can run on a wide variety of hardware platforms and has the same interface on all platforms. Why it is portable means it can run it can run a wide variety of hardware platforms. So whatever the hardware platforms and whatever the different hardware platforms that are available, this Python can run on different hardware platforms. And also it has the same interface on all platforms. So whatever the platforms that you have, this Python has same interface on the platforms, but the C language does not have same interface and it does not work on different platforms. Next, extendable. So Python is extendable. It means we can extend the programs and also we can add low-level modules to the Python interpreter. So a Python interpreter, even you can add low-level modules also. Low-level modules, a small modules. So these modules enable programmers to add or to customize their tools to be more efficient. What this module will do means it will enable the programmers why it will enable the programs to in order to customize to their tools. So whatever the tools that are present in this program, so it will add those type of modules to the tools uh, to become more efficient. It means if the tools become more efficient, you can run and you can the programs very easily. So that's why these low-level modules will be added to the tools. Next one, databases. So you can also implement databases by using Python programming also. So for implementing queries of the databases, it will provide some interface to the databases. Next one, GUI programming. And also it supports graphical user interface applications also. So there are many graphical user interfaces are there. So the Python support the GUI application also in such a way that it can be created and ported. Auto many system calls, libraries and Windows systems such as Windows and NetSuite network scalable. So Python is scalable. Why means Python provides a better structure and support for large programs than shell scripting. So why it is scalable means on the Python programming provides better structure. So as compared to the other programming languages like C++, Java, and PHP, it will provide a good structure compared to them, and also it will support large programs. That's why it is scalable. Apart from the above mentioned features, Python has a big list of good features. So, uh, whatever the features that we have seen above, apart from that also, it will have a lot of lists for good features. Some of them, it supports functional and structured programming methods as well as. So Python will support functional programming methods, structured programming methods, and as well as OOPS methods also. Not only Java and C++ supports OOPS concepts, but Python programming also will support these OOPS concepts, object-oriented programming concepts. It can be used as a scripting language. So we can use this Python programming language as scripting language also. It can be compiled to bytecode for building large applications. What this Python will do means, in order to build a large application, it will compile to bytecode. After compiling to the bytecode only, it will build large applications. It provides very high-level dynamic data types and supports dynamic type checking. It means it will provide high-level dynamic data types. It means unlike C programming language, it will provide high-level dynamic data types. It means we will be having dynamic data types. It means we no need to mention manual data streams. Already the Python will contain dynamic data types, and also it will check. It will also support dynamic checking. Dynamic checking means by default, if you write any program, it will check whether the line contents are there or not. Like that, it is like that. If it checks line by line, that is dynamic checking. It supports automatic garbage collection. So if there is any garbage value in the storage, automatically it will support that garbage collection. It can be easily integrated with C, C++, COM, ActiveX, Corba, and Java. So Python programming can combine with we can combine this Python programming with these languages like C and C++ and Java. So now we will see what is interpreter and what is compiler and interpreter versus compiler. So there are two kinds of application. There are two kinds of application. So what they do, they will convert high level language to low level. Why they will convert high level language to low level language? Computers will not understand the English language. It means high level language. Computers will understand only binary language and zeros and ones. So it will understand only zeros and ones. It will not. Computers will not understand any English language. It means high level language. So in order to overcome that, we will use these kind of applications to convert high level language to low level language. So what are the two kinds of applications means interpreter and compiler. So here we see an interpreter reads a high level program and executes it. And it means that it does what the program says. It processes the program a little at a time, alternately reading lines and performing computations. What interpreter will do means it will read high level program. So whatever the program that we are giving, it means we are writing the program in uh, English. That is the high level program. So that interpreter will read high level program. Whatever the program that we are writing, that is high level program. So the interpreter will read that high level program and it will execute. So it means it will convert all the language into in the form of zeros and ones, and it will change into the computer. So after sent into the computer, it will understand the language by using zeros and ones. After reading that language, it will print the output. So here you see, it processes the program little at a time. So it will process only it will process little at a time. After that, it will read the line and also it will perform some combinations. So here we can see there is a source code. Source code means whatever the code that we have written, that is the source code. So those source code will be taken by the interpreter. So what does this interpreter will do is it will read the source code and it will convert the high level language into the low, and it will produce an output. So this is the representation of the int- uh, interpreter. Next one, compiler. A compiler reads the program and translates it into low-level program, which can then be run. So what this compiler means, it will read the program. So whatever the program that we have written in the mm, platform, it will read that program and it will convert into low-level program. After converting, into it will run because a machine cannot understand only high level language. It can understand only low level language using words. So after converting this programming into zeros or ones only, it will run and it will give the desired output. So in this case, the high level program is called the source code. So whatever the source code that we have, that is called high level programming and high level program. And translated program is called object code. So whatever the program that is translated into the low language, the translated code is called object code or executable code. So what is executable program? Executable code means it means translated from. It means translation of high level language into the low level, that is called executable code. Once a program is compiled, you can execute it repeatedly without further translation. So once whatever the program that you have written, and after the program is compiled, you can execute it. So how many times that doesn't matter. So whatever the times that you need, you can execute it repeatedly without any translation. So after compiling the code, you no need to translate it again, and it will not translate it again. That is the ultimate code of the generated language, and it is the ultimate output of the language. So you need to execute that, and you need to execute repeatedly, and you will get the output. That is. So here, see, here you are having source code. It means you are having high level code. After that, we are given to the source code to compiler. What this compiler will do, it will convert into the low level language. Low level language means object code or executable code. What this object or executable code will do is it will give to the executor. So whoever execute this program, it will give to this executor, and after giving to the executor, it will execute the program and it will give the output. That is the meaning of this code. So there are two ways to use the Python interpreter, shell mode and script mode. So we can use this Python interpreter in two ways. We can use it in shell mode and you can use it in script mode. So in shell mode, you type Python statements into the Python shell and the interpreter immediately prints the results. So what will happen in shell means you will type the statements or you will type the Python statements. After typing Python statements into the shell, what the interpreter will do, it immediately prints the results because Python shell, in this Python shell only converting all these languages into low level language. So after checking this, the interpreter will immediately print the results from this shell. So this is the thing that is happening in the shell. So we can use idle, it means integrated development tool also. We can use many tools like Google Colab, Visual Studio Code, PyCharm, Jupyter Notebook. There are many other platforms are there. You can use whatever we want. But during this, I will use Google Colab and I will explain each and everything. Here you can see print 1 plus 1. So whenever we type print 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, the automatically the interpreter will check the line and it will do. So this will give the output too. Otherwise, if you have the doubt, I will execute the code in, in virtual way. So let us go to the Google. So Google Colab. Here I am opening the Google Colab. And there is a specialty in Google Colab also. I will say their specialties after that. So, so here you see, whenever I print 1 plus 1, 2. So you may get the doubt. Here they are given print 1 plus 1, but you are written only 1 plus 1. How is it possible to give the output? It means the specialty of the Google Colab is even if you not give the predefined functions like print like that, it will also give the output. Why means by default Google Colab contains predefined functions and also predefined packages. It means it automatically understands that. That's why it is called dynamically typed language. It means dynamically it checks and also it will print the output. That's why it has given 1 plus 1. It is true. That's why it is easy to understand. For C programming language, you need to print in order to get the output as to you need to import the libraries. It means you need to add different functions and you need to start the main function and you need to view the main function and you need to close the parentheses and also after that you need to give return zero at the end of the zero at the end of the program. After that only you need to run. But you need to print like this. If you give like this, that is enough to print and that is enough to get the output. Also, you can give like this print 1 plus 1. Yes, see, you get output. So here you can see 2. So for Python, only one line is required. For C++ or C, we will require from 6 to 7 lines. So that's why it is easy to use and Python requires only short code. No need to have long code like C++, Java. That's why Python is very easy to learn and Python is very easy to execute the code. That's why most of the people will love Python. I think after completion of this lecture also, you'll love the Python, running Python programs. So if you want to run the Python programs, there are three different ways to start Python. So if you want to start the program, start Python, you will be having three different ways. First one is interactive interpreter. So if you want to start Python either from Unix or DOS or any other system, you need a command line interpreter or shell window. So if you want to start the Python in Unix, from Unix operating system or any other operating system, you should have a command line interpreter or shell window. That is the first way. Yeah. And after having that, you need to enter the command line. Next one, script from the command line. So another way is you need to have script from the command line. Next one, integrated development environment. IDE, IDE compilers or IDE interpreters like that. You need to have integrated development environments. So if you want to run the Python programming, you need to have those three. Otherwise, you cannot start. So Here you can see what is debugging. So programming is a complex process because it is done by human beings. So why programming is a complex process means it is done by human beings. Like us people only, the programming is done. Programming often contains errors. Despite we implement the programs, we execute the program. Sometimes even the program will contain errors also. Everyone will do mistakes and sometimes everyone will get errors. That is quite common. So for whimsical reasons, programming errors are called bugs. So for other reasons, whatever the errors that we are containing in this programming, those errors are called bugs. The programming errors are called bugs. Remember this point, guys. Interviewers will ask the question, what is bug means? You need to answer. Bugs means it is called programming errors. So the process of tracking them down and correcting them is called debugging. What the debugging means in tracking the errors and correcting them. So suppose you have written a program or you have implemented a code. So after implemented the code, there is there are some errors in the program. So you need to track that errors and you need to rectify that errors. That is called debugging. Debugging means tracking the errors in which areas we have got the errors and we need to correct those errors. Those are called debugging. So three kinds of errors can occur in a program. There are how many? There are three types of errors are available in the program. Those type of errors are first one syntax error, next one runtime error, next one semantic error. So these are errors in the program. So it is useful to distinguish between them in order to track them down more quickly. So how they are useful means to track the whatever the errors that are containing to track that each error and to track that errors more quickly. It is useful once checked it. So once go through this errors guys. So that's it for today, guys. I will explain the types of errors in next coming class. Hope everyone understood the class and everyone clear. Everyone has got clear understanding regarding my class. So thank you for watching my session. So if you really like my session and you really like my teaching and also my content, please subscribe and comment CFDR in the comment section so that it will reach to all the people. My course will be beneficial for all the people. So that's it, guys. So here I am winding up our session. That's it for today. We will discuss remaining things in the later class. So thank you.